So, put down in the comments if you've been watching these videos and you've actually done some research on the things that I've been talking about. If maybe some of the things that I've been saying to you is actually spurred you to go out and maybe get some storable foods, maybe some water, maybe some purification devices. So you can take, I don't know, murky pond water or just a puddle of mud and turn that into fresh, clean, safe drinking water. What have you looked into? What have you found? What have you done? Don't put everything down that you purchased. No one needs to know that, especially the Fed boys. But just let me know if anything that I've been saying has been helping you guys. Because assuredly in this world, as I've touched on my other channel, for those who don't know or who are here for the first time, I have another channel, Joshua Thompson, Take Off the Rants. And it's mostly about finances, but some things I've alluded to on that channel, it's just some predictions. Like, for example, I said that I didn't think Donald Trump was going to be president in 2024, that it was going to be either another Democrat or a light Republican. Right? And I said that because I know the economy is going to crash. I've been going over it for over a year, maybe a year and a half on the other channel, exactly how it was going to happen, because the Fed doesn't print money and it doesn't work how people think it does. You've all been psyoped into believing the mainstream narrative about money, and you don't know how it works. This was going to happen. And what's going to happen is the economy is going to crash. They're not going to bail it out, and Republicans are going to get voted in 2022, so this year, midterms, into Congress, into the Senate. And after the economy's crashed and burned, if they don't bail everything out with new stimulus and new PPP and all that thing and all that such, then there is a very slim chance in hell that any Republican is going to be elected to president in 2024. That's why I said that. I've also said other things like there's going to be millions of people are going to have to die. And this is strictly just looking at the world in a financial way. Okay, because if you follow the money and how money actually works, right? Commercial banks only print the money, right? That's it. The government borrows money from the commercial banks. Well, from foreign sources too, but it's the same idea. The money all originates at commercial banks. And the money can only continue to grow in a healthy way if the population is continuing to grow. Because money is debt. The only way you increase the money supply is you increase the debt supply. But if you are running out of new people to get indebted, you're running out of new sources to create new money. And that leaves the only player left in town, the government. But when they do it, it has very negative consequences. Very negative consequences. It also drives the velocity of money down. And now we're in a situation where Japan, they're dead, been dead. Europe, they're gone. China, they're done. Over. Their population decline is to a point now to where GDP is going to start declining. Deflation is going to become apparent. The United States is really the only country, except for like sub-Saharan Africa and the countries over there. The United States is really, in the modern world, one of the only places that actually has a millennial generation that can kind of support a growing economy, but it ain't going to be anything like it was in the past. And the point I'm getting at is, when you have falling demographics, as we have, you slowly fall into a situation of demise. I mean, the economy is going to crash. It's going to be terrible. Deflation, Great Depression, all over again. And that is why I said that there's only a couple options they have. One, they can, go to Bitcoin. Won't happen. Two, they can continue doing QE, but that won't work. 3, QT, it's what they're doing now, but that's going to crash the economy. 4, they can kill a lot of people. And everyone kind of jumps back like, why would you say that? What do you mean? What? Isn't there another way, something else we can do? No, there's not. 3.5% of the world was murdered during World War II. And what did that lead to? The baby boom. The baby boom. Happened all around the world. Now, back then, there was a lot of land and a lot of resources that could then be claimed, and then there was construction, and babies were, getting spit out of the baby machines as quick as possible, but it led to the baby boom, and it led to one of the greatest, prosperous, biggest growth eras of all time. Same thing occurred in the 1300s after the Black Death. There were so few people and so much land and resources available after a very large amount of people were killed by the Black Death. It led to a boom. It led to a boom. It led to increased wages. It led to more availability of everything. So I'm pointing to historical examples of why that needs or should happen, and we should expect that to happen. So I don't know. Do your own research on it. It's just predictions. It doesn't mean it's going to come true. I don't mean to scare you, but that's why I always say get prepared. Always be prepared. Push come to shove, maybe you don't ever need it, and that's a good thing, but it's still just food. You're going to end up eating it anyway. But in today's news, the first thing we have is we are ready to team up. Reds rising. Uh-oh. You see this, and then it gets plastered everywhere, and everyone's like, oh no, it's crazy. China and Russia, they're teaming together, the bad Reds, the commies. And it's definitely a fear tactic. They're trying to scare you. They're trying to rile up some kind of emotional outburst in people that read things like that. But then other articles come out like this, that people just mull over. Locals in North Dakota oppose massive corn mill project by Chinese company. Just think about that for a minute. We already know Chinese housing sector is done. We already know from their last census data that since they've enacted the one-child policy, they've lost 100 million people that should have otherwise been born. We know that their currency is losing value versus the dollar. And now they're trying to start new food projects over here. Well, we know from history, historically, China has had a bunch of famines. All this tells me is they're scared. They're projecting power, they're projecting stoicism, but really, China's buying up all the land in America because America has the best arable land in the world. They're afraid they're going to run out of food. What is it that they see that we don't see? What is it that they're talking about that we're not? Then, of course, also we have the looming September the 18th. It's going to be the 17th. Yeah, it kind of starts on the 17th, but from the 18th on, you can really see those nighttime temperatures in Europe. They're starting to plummet. They'll be a little bit okay during the day, but I mean, over here, the highs, 5, 6, 7, that's in the 40s, guys. That's cold. So it's going to start somewhere around the 18th. And I've went into detail about this in my other channel, but basically, Europe's screwed, especially Germany. They cut off all their nuclear plants for some weird reason. They don't have any coal or natural gas or oil deposits. And they can only buy the majority of the energy that they have access to. Now they can't get it from Russia. They have to buy it in dollars. The euro is literally doomed. I'm just waiting for more evidence and reports to come out about this. I honestly believe that the euro might even hit 80 cents this year, but it's not financial advice. Anyway, moving along. I showed this yesterday, so just in case you missed it, here we go. This is a chart of institutional traders buying put options, which means they're betting the market will go down. This is 2008. This is the panic over in 16-17. This is the 2020 crisis. This is where we're at now, $8.1 billion in put options. It's significant. Now, I want to remind you, there's more total dollars in circulation today than there was back in 08. But this is still a gigantic warning sign. It's starting to break down. Now, as an update to yesterday's video, we've apparently averted the railway shutdown, the strike. I'm not gonna say it's officially over until tomorrow, because tomorrow is when the strike was supposed to start. But tentatively, they've struck a deal and said that it's not going to happen now. We're going to keep rail moving. It doesn't really matter, guys. I work in transportation. If any of you guys are truck drivers or dispatchers or any of that, maybe you can comment below and share your stories. But it's been my experience in the last couple of months when our company trucks have broke down, some of them, for relatively easy stuff to repair, has taken weeks, in some cases even months, to get the truck fixed when it should have just been really easy to do. But for some reason, it's just taking longer. They can't get the parts. They don't have the grease. They don't have this. They don't have that. And there's diesel shortages on the East Coast because a lot of people didn't know this. We did import a certain amount of energy from Russia. But it wasn't a very big significant amount because, the United States produces most of its energy. But the amount that we did import from Russia specifically went to the Northeast. Now there's a shortage of diesel over there. And I've heard people say that there's a shortage of DEF, but I'm not really sure. All I'm telling you is there's parts in our transportation system that are breaking down. It's not totally broken, and I don't expect it to go 100% away. No crazy cataclysmic event like that. But I'm seeing problems that are starting to come up now. So if you work in transportation, certainly share your experience with that. And moving on to the last two, just a quick update. There's nothing really going on in the sun. There's a bunch of sunspots, no flares. You can see the flares here. There's no CMEs headed our way. You'd see it on this spiral graph. Nothing really going on. KP is low. Nothing to report there. No significant quakes. We still got a couple of rumbles over here in California and one off the coast of Oregon, but still nothing to really be that concerned about. The biggest concern I have at the moment is just getting as many people as I can to take this seriously enough. I know how bad the market's going to get. I know how bad it's going to go. It seems as if I just can't get people to understand this enough. For some reason, they have it in their head, oh, it's going to be like '08, oh, it's going to be like 2000. I lived through those. They weren't bad. My dad didn't lose his job. Money was a little tight, but it wasn't bad. I remember in '08, when all that crap was going on. I mean, I think the price of a hamburger at McDonald's actually went down a little bit. That's the only thing I really remember from it. I know some people lost everything, but me and my family and the people I know, it didn't touch us at all. This is not that. What's coming is not that. Now, I do think at some point the government's going to bail the system out. They can't do it right away though, because it would drive inflation up too fast, the CPI. So they can't do it now. They have to wait for it to crash and burn. They have to wait for the CPI to come down. They have to. And they don't technically have to, but that's just what I'm guessing. So it's going to be bad, guys. It's going to be really, really, really bad. And I think they're going to try to seize the entire economic system in June of next year when FedNow comes out. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, that would be this. This is FedNow, okay? This comes out in July of 2023. My bad, I misspoke. I said June. July of 2023. Now, you can read through this article if you would like. It's on Yahoo Finance. Came out August 29th. Jennifer Schonberger wrote the article. But basically what it is, if you want to cut through all the BS, I'll let you know. Banks, on a daily basis, they send money back and forth, right? Because somebody has a bank account here, somebody has a bank account here, and they're all swapping money constantly. Now, banks use services to do that, to tally up how much money was sent from one bank to the other bank during the day. At the end of the banking day, they come out and say the person in the middle, and that could be ACH, that could be PayPal, that could be Cash App. At the end of the day, they tally up, okay, this bank sent a total of this much here, this bank sent a total of this much here. Okay, you owe them this, you owe them that, and then they settle all their debts and transactions. Essentially what FedNow is going to do is it's going to step in and take full command and control over all of that. It's going to take control of the ACH and the PayPals and the Cash Apps and all that. And the Fed is now going to be the middleman. Now, some say that's setting up the infrastructure for CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. I don't know. That's what I'm speculating, but I'm not going to say that yet because we just don't know. But I did make a prediction that it was going to be mandatory in 2024, CBDCs. So we'll see. Prepare now or you're all doomed. I love each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next one.